Innovation, the process of creating new ideas, products, services, or methods that significantly improve or transform the way things are done. It involves applying creativity to develop solutions that offer better efficiency, usability, or impact. This is a narrative of a region redefined by innovation, a region where the future is being crafted by the hands of those who dare to imagine and build something greater.
My name is Shedrack Agbo. I'm the CEO of Imperium Industries Nigeria Limited.
My name is Tunde Kara. I'm co-founder and CEO of 10years.
My name is Andrew Agbo Abu. I'm the founder of the Young Innovators of Nigeria.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Chuksekweme. I'm the chairman of Unicorn Group of Companies.
We started off in the agricultural sector where we were building agricultural equipment. And then later we graduated to building machines and production line for factories, and then also overhauling and upgrading. And then we metamorphosed to producing military equipment. That was in 2019.
Vendies is a credit, payments, and procurement platform for food businesses in Africa and other emerging markets. Our biggest market right now is Nigeria, and then we have expansion plans into other parts of the continent and other countries in different emerging markets around the world.
Unicorn Group of Companies is a leading technology company in Africa, and we are bridging technology gap across Africa by providing tailor-made solutions for African problems. So we are basically doing the deep tech, the hardwares, and the softwares. So, and we have proven track records around humanoid robots, artificial intelligence, which are made in, especially the first African humanoid robots and AI in Africa was done by the Unicorn Group. And we make drones, and we are a defense company, and we are in the space of also blockchain. So basically, and we have a staff strength of over around 150, and we are actively serving the ecosystem well for Africa.
Young Innovators of Nigeria is a story that started as a young boy from the university. NIDA actually adopted me from the University of Jos, and they took me to a department called Corporate Strategy and Research Department of NIDA at that time. NIDA was looking to gather talents in Nigeria, to mobilize talents from Nigeria that they can support. And as I was coming in as the National Secretary for NACOS, Nigeria Institute of Computer Science Students, I had already made some impact at the university level. Like in the University of Jos, I started the first programmers club in Nigeria in the university level. So with that idea coming to NIDA by the late, God rest his soul, Professor A.S. Daura, the former Director General of NIDA, who gave us that platform and gave us our first 1 million to do something for the youth. So we started mobilizing youth. The first program then we went for was JITES in Dubai.
Yeah.
So then under the direct supervision of Dr. Olatunji Vincent, who is the current National Commissioner of the Nigerian Data Protection Commission. So under his supervision, we started what we call the NIDA Knowledge Hub for Young Innovators. That was in 2014.
Well, I'll say it all started from passion. I've been so passionate about engineering and the manufacturing sector, And then even while I was in school, I had a lot of curiosity with this regards and a lot of interest. So ever since I've been putting a lot of effort to learn so much about engineering.
Very interesting story. But first, I grew up on the farm. So my mom used to run like maize crop farms and other things, cassava, etc. My dad used to do same, and then also around like a livestock farm, animal husbandry thing on the side. So that's what got me into agri and food in the first place. Just when I started to work, the tech ecosystem was in its early phases at the time. And I remember companies like System Spec, which is Remita. Well, that was much earlier before I started working. I don't know if you know that, but Remita is possibly the oldest payments company in Nigeria. So hearing stories about how John Navarro, who I incidentally now know, started his company, and then so those were like the earliest guys who sort of started paving the way for this new generation. And then from the Remita era, we had also in that Remita era we had the eTransact, also another payments company, and then those sort of gave us the next wave of entrepreneurs, the Jason Njokos, the Tayo Viosus. So Jason Njoku, what's the name of his company? I forget. Tayo Viosu of Paga. I remember when I got my first job at Y Niger, which was at the time used to be the main tech hub for the youth, or for tech and political hub for youth. So I got my first job there as an assistant editor, and so that sort of plunged me into the world of tech, because I got to meet some of these guys who were a little older than I was, but they were still within the age brackets, and they inspired me because I'm like, if these guys could do stuff like this, then I can do it.
Technology has been something that I would say is part of me. Growing up, I've been so deeply involved in tech. I was the best in computer in my school, and then I started with a course in ICT. By then, you said, so that was in 2006. I started web development, with Java and the rest of that. But then, after I have to diverse after school first degrees, and I have to diversify to business, because I felt money is very, very needed in every part journey. But by the way, by then, tech wasn't a thriving thing in Nigeria. So what was important is for me to make money so that I can fund my dream of still coming back to innovation and invention. So eventually we bounced back fully around 2018.
2014, we've taken young Nigerians to JITES in Dubai, Demo Africa, Digital Africa, going around Nigeria to mobilize talents in the technology ecosystem. So we're able to look for startups like Journey Games, Logica, Address, Wisabi, and we brought them, mentored them, accelerated them, and there's one Aminu Bakori of Pseudopay now. Yeah, is part of the engagement that we found him also. And there's fantastic young chaps doing great things. Most of them, sadly, they are not in Nigeria. And most of them as Jakpa. But their impacts remain solid in the ecosystem. So from 2013, 2014, our activities kind of even spur up innovation hubs across Nigeria. I remember in Kano, we had to go and start Blue Sapphire. Blue Sapphire is solution. Talk to the founder, say, look, why not let's set up a hub here in Kano. So we started the first hub in Kano, Blue Sapphire hub in Kano, with my other friends, my other colleague, Mohammed Jega, Bankole, Olon Rutoba, the current lead for the Nigerian Climate Innovation Center, the executive director now. Yeah, we started what we call Startup Ariwa movement. You understand? So Startup Ariwa, we were 9 network of innovators and entrepreneurs, incubators and innovators in Nigeria. So we all started those movements just to mobilize talent.
We started off in the agricultural sector, where we were building agricultural equipment, and then later we graduated to building machines and production line for factories, and then also overhauling and upgrading. And then we metamorphosed to producing military equipment. That was in 2019. So we've had keen interest in these industries, and we have greatly, over the years, invested so much on research and development, to enable us have the capacity to produce. It has not been an easy ride though, but it has been a very interesting journey for us.
Having compared various textbook definitions of innovation, there is a recurring theme: thinking and doing things differently for the purposes of efficiency, cost reduction, and creating new opportunities in various industries.
Just for context, Wendy's is now about 4 years old. We started operations early 2020. And in those 4 years, what we set out to do, which was help food businesses grow by easing the flow of food from point of production to point of consumption, has seen us achieve interesting and, dare I say, incredible milestones. So right now, as we speak, Wendy's has enabled access to credits of about $72 million to more than 4,000 food businesses. We've moved about 1.5 million metric tons of food from point of production to point of consumption over this period. Over this period, we've saved the customer or the user about 320,000 man hours that they would have had to invest their time in, or their staff's time in, to procure food and to facilitate credit card transactions, etc. And a couple of other interesting milestones like that. Right now, directly and indirectly through our farmers and all the food businesses that we work with, we've worked with over 830,000 businesses. And dare I say that this is just the start of what we hope to achieve. But I'm proud of what we've achieved as a team and as a company. And I guess the future is limitless for us.
I remember the first projects we had then as a company was a corn processing line. Initially we had a client then who they were into irrigation farming, both dry and wet season farming. And then they wanted to be able to get the corn out of the field, in quick time. So they tasked us to produce for them, I remember, a corn dryer. So, and it's one of the factories in one of the farms in Jerry, a very big farm. And then when we were given the task, we had to sit with my team and then did some research and then came up with a solution. So we built around, if I remember vividly, I think it should be around maybe 10 tons per hour.
Interesting. That's 10 tons per hour.
Yeah. So it's not just about even drying the corn, but material handling systems to be able to carry that much quantity, and then dry them within an hour. And then we started, and then we ended up well. And then ever since we started getting referrals from the companies around and all that. And then I think that also gave us a client. Part of the project, we got a client who was into fertilizer production, organic fertilizer. Then at that time he had set up the plant, but it wasn't really functioning well, so we were called upon to see how we can optimize it. So we came and looked around, did our research also, and we did very well there. And ever since, it has been so many referrals around, so we've been doing so many projects from threshers, millers, and so many things, yeah. And also for the production lines, especially in industrial automation.
It's not just robots, it's an AI solution because the robot was powered by our AI. So, and in the ecosystem, we've been able to build our infrastructure, for you to kind of own your technology, especially in AI. We have to own our cloud servers. We had built and installed our cloud servers. So all our solutions are hosted in our own infrastructure. So that had made us very vast in AI. We've been able to build language models. So, and we had an MOU with the NIDA to build native Nigerian languages to kind of overhaul digital literacy in Nigeria. to achieve 95% target, in their 2030. So we had that MOU. We built digital literacy solutions, platforms, and incorporating the native Nigerian languages. So we had solutions that are up for developers to kind of glean from, providing APIs around solutions like language models, translation systems, SRT for translating videos and content. We also have solutions on um, a kind of NLP, natural language processing, for other developers around AI to build from. We've also done great stuff in the hardware. We built indigenous defense drones that are military match. So that earned us a position in Diane as a defense company. And today we are into joint venture with defense to form a joint venture, the Dicon Unicorn, where we'll be making defense hardwares for our Nigerian defense. So our drones are very intelligent drones with incorporation of AI. This is the kind of intelligence that we are kind of extracting from our Omeife AI models. So we have used them very well, and we are currently making a long endurance drone that can stay more than 24 hours airborne.
We want our work to be seen. We don't want to be heard. We want our work, our impact to be seen. That is why our mode of operation, we work mostly in the communities. There's hardly any community in Nigeria you won't find young innovators there. Why? Because NIDA gave us a platform. They have centers across Nigeria. NCC have centers across Nigeria. So young innovators, we are leveraging on their platforms across Nigeria to accelerate people in skills, because as an average young man, some of them don't have data, nobody's talking to them, they don't have power. So we now said, okay, here, NIDA have this infrastructure. Okay, let's work with this within their infrastructure. And we want to be heard. We don't want to be seen. But this opportunity is our 10th anniversary. So we want at least let people have an idea of what we've been doing over the past 10 years. And I must tell you that we've directly trained over 10,000 Nigerians. We've skilled them up.
I remember one guy who reached out to me on Twitter, like anonymously, like I didn't even know he knew my Twitter handle. And he was like, "Oh, thank you guys for opening up in Abuja. And since you guys opened up, you've helped with my business expansion, because I had one store at first, and now I had a restaurant at first, and now I've opened 3 more. And that's directly because of Vendis and what Vendis does for me with access to credit and e-procurement. And it touched me a lot, because I don't even know this guy from anywhere. I am barely in Abuja these days, so it's not even like a direct effort of effect of my efforts. It's just a team in Abuja and their work that they've done. And you have multiple types of these stories across the different sides of the Vendis ecosystem, both on the restaurant side and on the farmer side and on the manufacturer side, where the work that we do directly impacts businesses and helps them to grow. And that's such a beautiful thing for us, because Vendis' mission statement is helping food businesses grow. Like, you have chicken farmers who've talked about how we've helped with their procurement and also help with direct access to market. So there are a lot of success stories on the Vendis platform, and this is what helps to drive us as a team, even when the going is hard. So yeah.
We cannot we cannot completely talk about the history of young innovators of Nigeria without mentioning NITDA. And the biggest pusher we had at that then is the Dr. Olatunji Vincent, who believed in the vision of young innovators, believed in us and said, look, I believe you people can push Nigeria innovation ecosystem to the level we want. We want people to talk about Nigerian talent. We want people to see Nigerian innovators work. And He gave us maximum support, 100% support. I think the first office Young Innovators ever had was at NIDA headquarters. NIDA headquarters, we went to NIDA annex office. In 2018, during the pandemic era, we had to leave the national headquarters that NIDA donated to us, and we left because we want to impact the Nigeria ecosystem. We left to Enugu. We did an ecosystem mapping as at that time, found out that, okay, Lagos is doing very well. We want other parts of Nigeria to catch up with Lagos. And we found out that the northern Nigeria is lagging behind. The eastern part of Nigeria is lagging behind. That is why Startup Arewa started, to bridge that gap between the south and the north. We now went to Enugu to bridge that gap also. We started the first second innovation hub after Start Hub in Aba. We started the TechX Innovation Hub in Enugu. I was in Enugu for about 1 year, going around the southeast state, trying to mobilize startups, mobilize young people to participate in technology. After I see that the ecosystem is getting stable, we got on the vehicle, came back to Abuja.
We're also very strong in software. We build solutions for banks, building digital banks, incorporating blockchain. I didn't mention Unicorn Group has subsidiary, which Omefe AI is one subsidiary. Baba Sky is another subsidiary which handles drones. And then Smart Afri Labs is the blockchain arm of the organization. Because, if you're talking about strong security and protection, you must mention blockchain. And there are a lot of solutions around blockchain, especially in supply chain and digital government. So we've been able to build solutions for clients also outside what we have as our proposed product.
We often glamorize innovation, dressing it up with grand narratives. But sometimes in our rush to make things sound larger than life, we forget the beauty of the process itself.
I'd like to see more of is governments, direct governments stimulus or participation in helping the tech ecosystem grow. There's certain things that obviously are beyond a single company's control, and that has to do with government intervention and all that. Like the macros in Nigeria are not helping businesses in general, including vendors. So we're having to face the uphill task of growing in spite of the macros. But I believe in the current government and what they're doing and hopefully within the next couple of years we should have like serious relief.
When you are successful to a point, a lot of people don't tell you the truth anymore. Everybody wants to be a yes man around you. Everybody just want to go to your direction, whether you are making mistakes, you are not making mistakes, they just want to follow you. And even if you are not that successful, but you're just trying to come up, but there are sometimes that some challenges want to break you down. You don't know when next, you don't know the next thing you do, but you need that one friend, that two friends. It doesn't have money to give you. It doesn't have a lot of connection to give you, understand? But he's here with you through thick, through thin. He's with you anywhere there we are going, even if he knows that you are not going to do it, but that support he will give you, understand? That morale, you understand?
Will you see any bank in Nigeria funding startups, that are into whether software or hardware? So that's a challenge on its own. And when you're talking about foreign funding, then there are also limitations. The Nigerian factor is playing out, the integrity factor for Nigeria as a whole, and the risk factor for Nigeria. Like the risk factor can be exchange rate, can be out. So they are limiting factor, and sometimes these persons want to buy you over. Okay, why not? I will give you funding, come over to Europe, come over to US, come over to that. So
over the years also build a strong team, comprised of young engineers, like you see what they are doing, people who have a lot of passions, people who have the drive, but they don't have the platforms to be able to actualize all these things. So here you will see it will be like a hub, raising more young guys, like not just like me. I always tell my friends, when I'm putting my mind to getting something done, I'm not just looking at doing things for the sake of doing it, or to show people that I have these skills or I know how to do this. I realized that for you to have sustainable growth, there must be cash flow.
Yes.
So one thing that we've been doing over the years is to see that regardless of where our interests are, there are things that we do to ensure we have stable cash flow.
Funding, discouragement, and the last one is the kind of patriotism. There is no patriotism for Nigerian-made products that to patronize you, which was supposed to be an encouragement for local startups. So these are underlying challenges that existed and still exist.
So Glen is building something very unique that we don't see being built anywhere in the world, like an integrated ecosystem for food that enables food flow from point of production to point of consumption, and everything within one ecosystem. So everything that food needs to move from point of production to point of consumption is what Glen is built for. So the credit tech, the procurement tech, the payments tech, all of that we have embedded within the platform, and that has given us a lot of success over the last couple of years, and we aim to expand this solution even to more users across the continent and across the globe in emerging markets. So the future is bright for us. I think the only limitation is us and our ability to dream as big as we want to dream.
What we are doing this year with our third series is to look at revenue. We have a problem of revenue, no money. Everybody's complaining, no money. Government is broke, you understand? Well, how do we use technology to drive finances in Nigeria, to manage revenue in Nigeria, to tokenize our mining? We have opportunities in mining sector, in oil and gas, oil theft, and the rest. How do we use technology to solve all those problems to ensure that Nigeria revenue is secured?
Currently now we are into partnership with some government organization.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that alone in itself is not sufficient to be able to drive this discussion of maybe building capacity locally and all that. It has to do. There's a whole lot that is involved here. I don't aspire to have been position in government or anything, but I can be able to advise, from my experience and with what I have known, because I spent so much to know so much, to expose myself in this industry, to also learn, and so I think what the government just needs is proper guidance, to have the right people with the right skill sets, with the right knowledge to be able to guide these things.
We are projecting high. We want to be we want our impact to be felt across Africa, then in extension globally. We want our solution to be able to solve African problem, because we are tailoring it down to our needs. It's not using an already made solution made for the West and having it used, or forcing ourselves to use it, or forcing it to solve our African problem. So we are very, very Afrocentric in our design. So we foresee from now every household having at least one of our solution in one way or the other. So we want to keep being on top of our R&D and giving Africa and Nigerians the state-of-art technology, not technology that have been left behind, but technology that are emerging or that are in the fourth industrial revolution. So they are very innovative. So we are very conscious of that, and there are so much coming, especially our solutions around health, which will be very mind-blowing for a lot of people. AI will want to assure the people of Africa and Nigeria that we are coming up with the best they can think of in this space.
Shooks, Tunde, Andrew, and Shedrack remind us that the promise of innovation lies in the hands of those who dare to dream and take action.